Hi, and welcome to this installment of the 3-Minute Writer. I'm Eric Wyatt. Like most writers, there are two forces at work anytime I sit down at the keyboard or with a paper and pen: the writer and the editor. The writer and the editor are both important aspects of who I am as a writer. The problem comes when the editor gets in the way. Let me show you what I mean. "It's so cold," one of the boys said. "I wish I had remembered my scarf," another said. Said another. "I wish I had remembered my scarf," said another. They were turned around in their seats, looking out over Strike the Out. In their seats, looking over the convertible's tail fin. Do convertibles have tail fins? I think I'm not so sure. You better Google it. Sometimes it feels like the editor me is always looking over my shoulder. When the editor takes over a writing session, I lose productivity. I get bogged down in a cycle of revision that keeps me stagnant, and that's not how I write, ultimately. Now, there are writers who write this way. They don't move on until every page, every sentence, every word is right, but that's just not me. If I allow that editor, the nitpicky perfectionist, to have too much say in my writing, I'll never move on, because I've never yet written a perfect sentence, let alone a perfect page. So I have to banish the editor, recognize his voice, and resolve to quiet him. If I don't force myself to let the first draft take over, warts and all, let it run free, it's not a good thing. One of the things that really used to hold me back was a fear of not knowing where my story was going. It was a fear of losing control. I would allow myself to stay there, linger in that editor's role too long because I didn't want to give up what I thought was control of my story. But what I've learned is that it's in letting the story go, letting the characters run the asylum, letting the story happen as it's supposed to, without restraint, in the draft phase, that I'm more and more the writer I'm supposed to be. One of the cool things about this method is that it's done with a promise to the editor me that he'll have plenty of time to go back and do what he does in the subsequent drafts of the story. The editor me will be called upon to begin this process of sorting through it all, and he'll have plenty of work to do. Now, when that editor me pops up and threatens to trip up my writing, I can put him away with the assurance that his services will be needed very, very shortly. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of The 3-Minute Writer. I hope you'll stop by my website, ericssheridanwyatt.com, for more information. Have a great day and happy writing.